Hello. In this video, I'm going to go over my thoughts and opinions about Evolve Artist Block 1. I haven't finished the entire course, but what I noticed is when I was looking for reviews, there wasn't many from people who didn't really have an art background. A little bit about me, I actually have no art background and I work in tech. And I've actually been trying to learn how to paint for several years now, and I haven't really made much progress. I always had to go to YouTube to figure out some technique or how to paint a certain object. I couldn't really figure it out on my own, and I had been trying for a while. And so when I kept on seeing these Evolve Artist ads, it honestly piqued my interest. Now, at first I was very skeptical. I think I saw about 10 of them, and I was like, man, the marketing bros have entered the art market. But once I actually clicked on one of their ads and went to the page, I was literally sold probably within the first 10 minutes. I decided to wait a couple of months and then start the program way back in August, and it actually took me a few months to finish it due to other projects I've been doing. So if you are watching this, I'm sure you know what Evolve Artist, they claim that they can bring you up to professional level skills within 12 months. It's kind of like an art boot camp, and I think 12 months is very realistic. So let's get straight into the positives that I really liked about Evolve Artist. The first one is feedback on all of your assignments. This is something people really just kind of take for granted. You don't realize how much how much feedback will speed up your progress. After every single exercise that you submit, you're going to get feedback on what you could do better, and it's very detailed. I'll leave it an example right here, and it goes into all of the different parts. You also get different checklists, so you can go over exactly what the instructors look for, and it also just gives you a new mental model for when you're painting on what to look for. Most of the feedback was given really within 24 hours, so it didn't slow me down. I know other programs similar to this one have terrible reviews about them taking weeks to get back to you, but feedback is honestly the core of this program. Maybe you could learn it for free elsewhere, but you won't make as good of a progress without that feedback. The second pro of the Evolve Artist program is that it gets you to practice. A lot of people get stuck in theorizing and kind of just all about the art history and the art theory, but they never get straight down to actually doing it. And so this gives you a little bit of instruction, and then you're going to spend hours upon hours practicing that little piece of knowledge that you gained. And this is invaluable. Each exercise was a challenge, and it was a lot of fun. The way it's set up really just motivated me to practice because I have a goal, I have a start and an end. And there's no gray area when I'm finished. The third pro of Evolve Artist that I really like was the videos were really short. Some people may not like the short videos and how direct they are, but to me, as someone who's been through many online courses, in fact, a lot of them, I really enjoyed the fact that most of it was practice, a little bit of theory, and then you practice that little bit of theory. So you really understand it just in a whole different way than you would if you just knew it intellectually, if that makes sense. So when someone talks about value now, I have a really good idea what value is. Before, someone would mention value and I would have kind of a vague idea what it was. But now I have hours upon hours of practice on value. So some people could see this as a turnoff, the videos are very short, but you can always supplement your education through different books or topics that interest you. The next pro to Evolve Artist was that all of the materials were included. They actually send the best materials. We use Old Holland paint, and it doesn't smell at all. I know if you've tried oil painting before, you could be kind of turned off by it. Oil painting with Old Holland was, I couldn't smell anything. Just make sure you have proper ventilation, really important. And he actually made a good point that you should always start out with really good materials because your learning curve is going to be hard enough. So why make it harder with like student grade or mediocre paint? Because you might get discouraged and then just kind of quit. So the materials aren't going to be in the way of you producing great like artwork. And Old All-In is also very expensive. And so part of the program is just paint costs. The next pro that I really liked about Evolve Artist program is the instructor. Kevin Murphy is the instructor of it, and he is very straightforward and only teaches you the technical details. He doesn't go in about following your emotions or all of that other stuff. He just goes into the technical details and very straightforward and direct. He's almost kind of like a life coach also, because he gives like advice during kind of his videos that just kind of like stick. It's just like I'm learning how to paint. I noticed my standards started to raise in the quality of work that I do, because I mean, how you do one thing is how you do all things. Another pro and unexpected benefit of Evolve Artist is that it's mental training. So I easily get distracted by many different things. What I've noticed after going through this program is that I'm able to focus way more now than I was before in other like periods of my life. I don't know. I think it's because I sit down and I like paint for 3, 4, 5 hours, just like without any breaks or anything. So maybe that is why. Another pro is that I have measurable improvement and I can see the improvement. So if we look at like my second painting, me trying to do gradients, it's pretty bad. And that took me forever, by the way. And then after a few months, like 2 or 3 months, like look at these beautiful rabbits that I did. And gradients aren't perfect, but they're much better than like that second painting that I did. And this, so I see the progress, and then that progress just kind of keeps you motivated to keep going on. It's just a lot of fun. So it turns it into like a game, a challenge, and it's just like technical skills you can get better at, which I can grasp. The Evolve program is very like in-depth. So not only do you get the instruction, but if you have any questions, you can also get an instructor one-on-one and ask the instructor any questions or anything you're having issues with. There's also a community that you could go paint with. I haven't used it yet, but I do plan on using it in blocks 3 and 4 and really just kind of going like deep into like the program. There's a whole bunch of recording, supplemental information. Everything you really need is within the program to gain those traditional realism painting skills. All of the pros are great, but you know, there's always cons to every program. So in this section, I'm going to go over the cons to the Evolve Artist program. The first con is you can feel like you're on your own a little bit, which is a little bit terrifying. So usually I use YouTube and I look up how to do things and then I follow along. And I think the program is actually designed for you to do it on your own and not use Kevin Murphy, the owner, as like a crutch. I've noticed that I use YouTube and other resources as a crutch and I'm not able to produce things or make decisions on my own. And so he really just kind of throws you into it and he's like, do this. And if you mess up, that's fine. The instructors will tell you and give you feedback so you can get better on the next one, or maybe you'll even redo it. So it is a con because it's a little terrifying, but I really think it's like that by design. He's not going to do everything for you. What I found is like the few that he does like demonstrate for you, when I tried to copy him, my paintings actually turned out worse. The second con to the Evolve Artist program could be that it's focused on realism painting. So you're not going to get digital art painting or the abstract painting. It's literally just realism, and you're learning those traditional skills, which can be extremely tedious and meticulous and very technical. It takes a lot of patience, I would say, to do it, but to me it's very challenging. And once I get those realism paintings, I really think I could go into other types of art if I wanted to. So some people may not do well with realism and the structure that you need to do in realism. The next con is that it's $2,500. Now, this may be cheap for some people, but it may be very expensive to other people. I mean, if you make $90K, $2,500 is like 2 weeks after tax take-home pay. So it is pricey. However, I really think it's worth it. I spent years going through random resources, you know, paying $20 here, $20 there, getting the wrong art materials, spending tons on paints that were useless that I used, paintbrushes that were just wrong, but I didn't know, right? I'm just like watching all of these YouTube videos and they're all different, and they're all scattered, and you know, they have different directions and methodologies. So you're just kind of like a mess a little bit. So I would say the time that it saves you in terms of it gives you the materials and it gives you the instructions and it gives you the practice that you need and the feedback that you need, that $2,500 is actually cheap. It's actually cheap. And I was looking up art school prices, like where in my community, and it's $37,000 in tuition a year, plus like $12,000 in living costs. So it's about $50,000. Plus you're not going to be working during that time, or if you have a job. So it's going to be $50,000, like plus the amount of salary that you're going to lose. I guess everyone has different goals, but $50,000 for art school just kind of seemed a little bit extreme, whereas this program is $2,500. Some challenges that I had during this program was everything was very challenging for me. I didn't really have a strong art background. I painted on YouTube follow-alongs, but that was basically about it. So this program was extremely difficult for me. So everything. So I think for a while I was even like painting on the wrong side of like the canvas board. So it made it very difficult. Even filling in the paint was a whole step. It took me a while to get that. Also the paint density and how thick the paint should be, that took me a while to get. Gradients were extremely difficult and I've made a lot of progress. I'm still not like perfect on them, but much better than I was 20 paintings ago when I started. So I would say maybe like staying within the lines. My edge was very good, but I also had difficulty like staying within the lines of the painting. So the whole thing was just a huge challenge. Keeping my palette clean and neat was a challenge as I'm very messy. So all of these parts were things that I was learning and I'm still learning. And it really just like, they know that. I mean, Kevin Murphy has had like a school and teaches high school students for like 10 years. So he knows everything that really is going on. But yeah, so if you don't have a background in Evolve Artists, if you don't have a background in art, I would say that's perfectly okay. They teach you everything that you need to know. Or if you think you don't have talent, I'm pretty sure I don't really have any art talent, and I still produced pretty good paintings, pretty good paintings, better than anything that I could have produced before. It just gives you a whole new mental model. So it's absolutely fabulous. Overall, Evolve Artist is definitely worth it. Now I'm only on block 1 and I'm now doing block 2, so drawing. So I'll make another review on the drawing portion later on. But if you are nervous or you don't know if it's for you, I would say it's definitely worth it. I'm not sponsored and I'm not affiliated with Evolve Artist. And if you have any questions, leave a comment below. I would say what I learned in block 1 was definitely equivalent to like a course I could take at a college, if not better. Maybe there wasn't as much talking, but I think in the doing of thing, you really grasp it better than in the intellectually learning about something. Go ahead and leave a comment below and like, and I will see you on the next video.